Hello, 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 everybody. Alessa's here, and we're going to be having a little bit of a special stream today, as we are going to be taking a look at the Swedish national team for EUROBOWL in Greece this year, coming up next weekend. And I am being joined by the Swedish national team captain and vice captain. Please do introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Kaju. I'm a Swedish captain.
And I'm Skuld. I'm the vice captain. We have been playing Blood Bowl for a long time, so we should hopefully know what we're talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
that's never a requirement here because otherwise I wouldn't be streaming Blood Bowl at all. So, but, yeah. But yes, welcome to the stream. And so the purpose for this stream is that we're gonna take a look at like the Swedish national team as a whole, like what you guys want to achieve in the tournament. And who do you think is going to be like a particularly tough match that you're either looking forward to or would rather just, have lose to someone else? As well as your thoughts on your first round matchup, which has been the Malta team. But without further ado, let's take a look at the Swedish squad, shall we? So in addition to Skuld here playing Dark Elves, as well as Kaju playing the Lizardmen, we have Infer the Pain with Orcs, Ionas with Vampires, Meliskis with the Shambling Undead, Nuaga with Wood Elves, Ost with Norse, and Surveillance?
Surveillance.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
With Skaven. All right. So first of all, like something that I've talked with Skuld a little bit beforehand is, I noticed a lack of both Amazons and Necro.
Yes, that's true. When I took out the team, I had the premises that you have to be good at the team that you're playing and perform good when I take out the team. So in the period when I was choosing what races and coaches, there were not actually any dedicated Amazon player. So Amazon is one of the good rosters that we are missing in Sweden. And Necro, almost the same there, but I wanted that the coach was going to be confident in their own roster.
Yeah. Necro is a hard team to get going. Many of the tournaments we play has been just with the vanilla EUROBOWL rules, and then you can't build a proper Necro team. You need the extra money for it to be viable. So the opportunities haven't been the greatest for us to play Necro.
And actually, we had last minute change. Actually, Jonas was supposed to play Underworld at first, but as the errata came, the Underworld was nerfed, and we play tested it, and the Underworld wasn't as valuable as before. So we and Jonas tried a little bit Vampire. He was confident in that, so he swapped to Vampire.
Yeah. The removal of swarming has definitely impacted Underworld's viability quite a bit. In addition to not having Amazons or Necro, you are instead, like, out of the more, these are the expected races, you're bringing Norse and Orc, and these are I assume mostly because the coaches are confident in their ability to play those teams, right?
Yes, that's true. Ost is really good with Norse, and he kind of have a different build compared to other Norse players. He doesn't play with a Yeti, and he have a dirty player, in his team
Yep.
and a bribe.
Yep.
So you can guess what he's gonna do with his team. No, the fouling meta is really strong. So, and he's really strong with Norse. So it's obvious that he's gonna play Norse.
He always performs well when playing Norse. So
Yeah,
it's almost a given to pick that.
Mm.
Otherwise, there are clearly from the Sun's information 9 racers that are the most popular one.
Yeah.
And in that group, not Norse, orcs are still picked. So apparently they are very popular. Assume it's one of those teams that always do well and are not that swingy, as they have high armor and usually stays on the pitch.
I will have to say that In for the Pain here seems to have committed something that we consider a little bit of a cardinal sin, in that he has an orc thrower, but I assume that's mostly because, well, in a tournament setting, you want the orc thrower so that you can get a leader, so you don't have to pay so much for the reroll.
Also, you want sure hands.
Yeah,
fair enough. But yeah, looking at my personal thoughts are that orcs might be slightly too strong of a team. But like overall, not only in a tournament setting, but it is looking like a very solid team here with like 3 guards on the big unblockers, a mighty blow, frenzy on a blitzer, and then dirty player lineman as well. All right, so also into that falling meta with a bribe and a goblin as well for no troll. So no throw teammate shenanigans, but the goblin, I assume, is just an extra body that you can get for cheap.
True.
But
it's a lot of players in his team.
Yeah, it certainly is. And like as I said, like the orcs do get like big and blockers only being 90 and orc blitzers only being 80. Like they're both really solid players for what they do. So
yeah.
All right. And yeah, Ost, I've heard of him a little bit from Pitpad, as he was Pitpad, from my understanding, has been playing a lot of Norse as well in the in the tournaments in Sweden. So
yeah,
kind of direct competition there. All right, but with those two covered, let's talk about Kaju and your choice of Lizardman. So
yeah, I have a kind of different build compared to the other Lizard coaches participating in EUROBOWL. Usually you see 6 hours with block.
Yep.
But I have played Lizard a few years now in the tournament level, and I find it a guard piece is really nice because it's a bash team. You're gonna against other bash team you need 1 guard.
Yeah.
Usually, some like it on a regular Saurus, but I like it on a Crocs. And I think I'm the only one with a Saurus with Wrestle. I played a game against Dark Elf with 6 Saurus with blocks. And I tried to sack the ball, and I rolled 11 block dice and didn't knock off the ball.
Right.
That's why I started to play with Wrestle.
Yeah.
So I think most of the Lizard rosters have 2 rerolls and 1 apple.
Yeah.
So it's pretty standard, I think, for a Lizard build.
Do most Lizard teams also run a chameleon skink?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm mostly familiar with like how the in Blood Bowl 3 the online version, like how that plays out, and chameleon skinks like are interesting to me And if I was playing a Lizardman roster, I would probably bring one. But like most Lizardman teams that I've seen aren't bringing one. But obviously, tournament environment is indeed different. But yeah, I can very much understand the wrestle on the like just having one of them means that like a blodger is no longer as safe as they once might have been. So definitely approve of that choice. The Croxigore, I mean, maybe I just have a bad record with Croxigores, but I feel that Croxigore like Bonehead is actually a 50-50 rather than a 2+. So
Yeah, I agree with you. That's so true.
yeah. But
one of the best big guys, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially when you equip him with guard, you're less likely to do blocks and
yeah.
just position him correct where you can use his tail and guard.
Yeah.
And it's quick.
Yeah. And I mean, it is one of those things that like, especially like when you're going up against like another bash matchup, like the strength 5 over the strength 4 on the Saurus, like it does. And I mean, Croxigore is like one of the fastest big guys as well, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no fast big guy.
Yeah, there's only like
no, yeah.
There's only like
Rat
fast.
Ogre
Yeah.
is same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're hopping a little bit on the coach list, but Skuld.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Dark Elves.
Yeah, they're such a solid team. Of course, the downside is you have no bench and only 2 rerolls. But if you at least can get 8 players to survive, you can still play properly, assuming you still have your positionals left.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just stuck with like the 3 linemen and the assassins, yeah, maybe not.
It's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I also went with the assassin route because they cost a little bit more, but not much. It's money you couldn't really use
anywhere else
in a good way. Otherwise, I mean, you could go for the 12-man roster, but then you don't have an Apple.
Yeah,
and I like to save knockouts on the pitch.
Understand.
And for EUROBOWL, it's usually more dash teams than in a regular tournament. And dash team tend to have lower armor, so assassin might come in useful.
Yeah.
The downside, of course, is lower armor.
Yeah, you're more.
But it also means that 8 of my 11 players have movement 7.
Yeah. That is in fact quite fast. Like when it. But yeah. So 3 dodges on blitzers, block wrestle for the witch elf. Also want to thank San BB as well as Keithad Bix for the follows. Dodge on the assassin just to give him that little bit of extra defense, I guess.
Nah, not really for the defense. I mean, if it was for the defense purposes, I would rather have it on the last blitzer. But it's for those cage dives.
Where the best you can do is either a 2-die uphill or a stab, so you try for the stab instead.
Yeah. So with the dodge built in, you don't have to waste a reroll when you go in for the desperate measures.
Yeah.
And spreading the quality of players is generally a good idea as well.
Yeah, I would agree. Was there ever a time where you would have considered like strip ball on one of the witch elves rather than block or wrestle?
No, not really.
Too much sure hands?
No, but those pieces are so good, and especially with frenzy, to block without any turnover protection as wrestle and block. It's scary, especially with when you have so few rerolls in the team. So no, those are the two first skills on the paper, I think.
Fair enough. How have you, by the way, found the the shadowing on the assassins now that they are like faster than movement 6? Like, has that ever actually come out like clutch or?
I mean, shadowing is such a useless skill, but occasionally it triggers, and it could be very, very good.
Yeah.
But it's super unreliable. I mean, if you have the same movement,
Yeah.
you need to roll a 6.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
I think it's
average speed is still 6, so that's a 5+ just to make a 1 follow. But I mean, sometimes you roll good and it's really annoying for the opponent. But I can't say that I put much value into shadowing.
Yeah,
you always get surprised when you roll a 6 when you're doing shadowing.
What happens now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of those skills where, like, okay, if you come with it, like that's fine, and it's like the threat of it actually activating is like the biggest thing about the skill, rather than.
I mean, the opponent always forgets it as well. And I say,
true.
Wait, I'm gonna roll for shadowing. Oh, what? That's the usual response.
Yeah.
But I mean, on EUROBOWL level, that's not gonna come to a shock for anyone.
Yeah. All right. Then since the two of you are now covered, and I think we've covered both Jon and Ost pretty decent. Like, we can take a closer look at, but I think like both of those were fairly straightforward in what those rosters were doing. So let's take a look at Ionis and the Vampire roster. And I will just completely, like, I have, again, my experience of Blood Bowl 2020 is only on the online, so I have no idea how the new vampires function, or like how, like, I've heard that they're very good now.
Yeah, they are. The hypnotic gaze
it's too strong.
Yeah, it's so strong, and now when the Blood Bowl has been, no, not Blood Bowl, Bloodlust, it's called. It's not as bad as it previously was. If you don't bite anyone, it's no longer a turnover.
Okay.
He's just boneheading, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah. And the hypnogaze usually works on 2+, and if you succeed, the targeted player lose the skills like block, dodge, wrestle, stand firm, fend, sidestep.
Wow.
Most of the important skills, so it's easier to do removals and knock players down.
Yeah. You gaze the blodgers and then you hit them with mighty blow.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Jonas tried with block strip ball, I think, before, but no, block friends and block strip ball. Yeah, but it didn't work really well when he faced really good coaches. So he changed that.
Yeah. Frenzy put him in more trouble than he gained from it.
Yeah. The mighty blow, I guess, gives the blitzer more consistency. And then how many thralls is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think.
Yeah, 8. So five vampires and eight thralls. 13-man roster, apothecary, dedicated fans, assistant coaches, and 4 rerolls. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you need rerolls as vampires.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Like, can the rerolls, by the way, can they be used for the hypnotic gaze?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes it, like, if it most of the time happens on a 2+, then that makes it a very powerful ability. Like, if it was something that you couldn't reroll, then maybe that it would give it a less consistency, but that you can is all right.
Yeah, I mean, vampires can really easily have those super turns where they gaze 4 people and just run through your team and sack the ball carrier, and you wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Especially now when it's possible to use multiple rerolls in the same turn.
Yeah. I can see how that could happen. Yeah. So for the, like, just as the vampire, like the vampire that I know was like movement 6, strength 4, agility 4, and like armor would be what 9+ now in the new thing.
Yeah.
Is that
So that's the thrower.
okay? Yep.
And the blitzer, I think, right?
Yeah, but they have a little bit less in passing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the runner then like? Is he movement 7 base or?
No, movement 8.
Ooh.
Strength 3.
Okay.
Strength
So.
Yeah.
and less armor.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it's such a good piece for vampires because earlier they struggled to score.
Yeah.
But with 2 extra movement,
Yeah.
it's a major difference for them.
Absolutely. And then like Ionis, like as a coach, like is he like who would you consider to like out of the Swedish national team, like who would you consider to be like the strongest, I guess, in the like as a just an individual coach?
I can name the weakest.
Oh.
It's our lizard coach. It's me.
I was wondering whether that was going to be a shot on Skuld or whether yourselves. All right.
No.
There were 2 ways that could go. All right, fair
No,
enough.
Yeah.
If you knew kaju, it could only go one way.
No, our team is really strong. So I'm really happy that I picked these coaches. Like tournament record, In for the Pain has won a lot of tournaments in Sweden. Meliscus have a great record with his Undead, and Ost is really good with Norse, and all coaches are really strong in Swedish national team.
I would say that for our entire team, it's an even high level. I would say it's hard to pick who's clearly the best. I mean, if we look at our opponents for the first round, they have. I mean, when you hear the nation of Malta, you think that they can't be that good. They don't. That's not many people who live there. Can they really get a strong team? But they do have a really good team, and their captain is very, very good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would definitely say that in their team, he's clearly the strongest player.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, like from just having listened in on like In for the Pain and Skuld and Pitpad and Meliscus and Broccoli, like having been listening to their stories about like how they performed in tournaments in Sweden, like it did, at least to me, seem like that like the competition to get into the Swedish national team is very strong. So they're like it's a very high level of play in Sweden for Blood Bowl.
Yeah, it was quite difficult to
make it
do the selection.
Yeah, it was really took a long time to take out the team. Yeah, to decide what coaches we needed.
Yeah, I mean, seems entirely like good that you did a lot of consideration, and like it's always good that there's that you have like a wide selection of talent to choose from, like regardless of like sport or hobby, or like in a competitive environment, always a good sign.
Always difficult to put someone that has performed really well on the side as well. You know, people will get disappointed, and
But
I guess that's the definition of sports, I guess.
Yeah, that is the definition of a competitive sport. Sometimes you will make it, and sometimes somebody else is just slightly better. But moving on, we have Meliscus, Shambling Undead.
Oh, yeah. His track record with Undead the last year has been extremely good. Can't really say much more than that. And always solid to play, unless he tries to make a rush.
I think Meliscus has a really long track record in Swedish EUROBOWL team. So yeah.
He's a national veteran then.
I think he's been in all of them for Sweden. I'm not 100% sure.
Not. I don't. Maybe one. He missed one in the beginning. I don't know, but he's almost always been in the EuroBowl team.
Mm-hmm.
And been the captain for, I think, 3 EuroBowls.
Yeah, maybe.
Sweden, Portugal, and Malta. No, not Malta.
Wales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's playing Undead.
Yep. Looking pretty what I expected on the skill front. Both mummies have guard.
He had extra skill blessing, by the way. That's why he has 7 skills.
Yeah. I was wondering about that. I wonder what skill. I guess it would be like the second wrestle on a ghoul that he'd drop if he didn't have that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I was just looking.
Yeah.
Slightly surprised since you were talking about at least some of the coaches leaning into the dirty player, like the fouling meta. I'm somewhat surprised not finding a dirty player on the undead roster.
Well, I mean, you have 13 players, so you can still foul.
Yeah, true.
But you can't, since this is a tier 1 team, can't really sacrifice.
Yeah. The skills are more valuable
on the positionals.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and since you can afford a bribe as well, so it's could be just one foul and then it's off.
Yeah, and obviously dirty player doesn't guarantee any result. So even with a +1, if you roll a double 1, that's still not really helpful, is it?
No.
So yeah, that's fair enough, but it is one of those that as at least personally, having played undead for some time, I have seen the value of a skeleton dirty player more often than not. But yeah, it makes sense that having the 2 guards on the mummies, a guard blitzer, mighty blow blitzer, and then block wrestle for the ghouls, that definitely speaks to going for more consistency in the overall game plan than the dirty player probably offers up more in the games where it would pop off. It would obviously make things easier if you just can keep removing people without getting sent off, but that's not something that you really want to rely on as a strategy, I guess, if you want consistency.
It's a little bit of the games you're gonna win more.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really help.
Yeah. Fair enough. Then we're gonna move on to another coach that I don't have any knowledge of myself, Niaga and the Wood Elves.
Yeah. He's good. No, he's really good with the agility teams. And it was first time he participated in EuroBowl in Malta, and he did really well. And when he plays in tournament, he's always win a lot, and it's performing really good. So one of the top coaches in Sweden.
Yeah, he never has a bad tournament. I mean, if he has a bad tournament, he still performs decently. Well,
yeah.
Very, very consistent.
Not really knowing.
He's also performing well currently in Blood Bowl 3 tournament. I think he
won a World Cup ticket in some tournament.
Oh, okay.
In EB3.
Yeah.
So
I haven't fully paid attention, but I know he was doing well at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really knowing again the meta for the tabletop tournaments. I see both both the treeman and the fact that he has not put any of the skills on the Wood Elf catchers. Is that the regular or?
The regular.
You want to make all the player good, I think.
Some people put skills on all of the catchers.
Yeah.
And some have just one, like sidestep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to say what the norm is. I would say in EUROBOWL level of play, I would say fewer coaches put skills on catchers.
Okay.
Because it's more out of the lineman.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. No, I personally definitely just in a vacuum thinking about it, I would probably either a block or a sidestep catcher, just to have one skill in there. But yeah, no, the treeman is one of those things that how much value does that actually bring to a Wood Elf team?
He's the most annoying piece ever when you play a Wood Elf. He's so bad every time.
Yeah.
But when you don't have him, your team explodes.
Yeah.
He just passively saves you from a lot of blocks.
Mm-mm. Fair enough. And Apothecary is expected 3 reroll. 3 rerolls.
Yeah. He doesn't have a thrower.
Yeah, that's true.
And he took the extra money pack. So he sacrificed a skill to get more money so he could afford the 3rd reroll.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And he has 3 catchers, right?
Yep, 3 catchers, yep.
That's the normal classic Wood Elf build is 2 catchers and a thrower.
Yeah.
2 rerolls.
Yeah.
So he upgraded to a 3rd reroll and switched a thrower for a catcher.
Yeah.
More or less.
It does give him more movement, but it does mean that his throwing ability is reduced, which from what I've heard of Pitpad and Skuld and Info the Pain speak, it seems at least in Sweden the throwing game, and maybe it's just on the high level overall, that the throwing game it has taken even more of a backseat with how bad the if you manage to just whiff the not make a successful pass, how bad that could end up being now.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, if you want to pass, you need to have a thrower.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's only desperate measures.
Yeah. Do the Wood Elf catchers do they at least pass on a 4+?
Could be 5. Catchers are usually worse. But
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I know witch elves are 5.
Assassins are also 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Catcher passes 4+.
Okay.
It's the same as the lineman then, which is all right. The War Dancer doesn't the War Dancer pass on a 3+ or something?
Oh, 4+, same.
Okay. 4+ as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's Pro Elf Blitzers.
Yeah, Pro Elf Blitzers. Yeah, they pass on a 3+. Yeah, that's true.
For some reason.
I mean, it's not a team where they probably wouldn't that's a team where you take a thrower, definitely.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to have a little bit of backup there, I guess.
Yeah, it's the consistency of what player gets what is hard to keep track of.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't
whenever you play a tournament and someone is gonna pass, everybody just have to look at their roster.
Yeah.
Well, how good am I actually at passing? Nobody knows.
Yeah. All right. And then last but not least for the team is Surveillance, Skaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be his first EUROBOWL. Oh, congratulations to him.
Yeah, well done making it to the team in such tough competition.
Yeah.
He performed really well during the period, so he won tournament with Skaven in Sweden, so it was kind of obvious choice. So, and he do really well with Skaven, and the roster is with Blessing with extra skill, and it seems pretty standard for a Skaven roster.
Yep.
I think I speak for both myself and Kaju when I say that when we saw the rule pack, or after a little bit, we both agreed that there is no way we're not having a Skaven team in our team.
Mm-hmm.
They are ridiculously good at this rule set.
Yeah.
But they're also Skaven, so they can explode whenever.
Explode. Yeah.
Juggernaut on the Rat Ogre, Wrestle, Sidestep, Strip Ball, Block, Gutter Runners, Mighty Blow Guard, all of that makes sense. Leader, only 2 rerolls, Uppo. Yep, that sounds like a Skaven roster to me.
Yeah, you get everything you want.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, it's looks like I guess like Norse is the hybrid team of the out of the teams that you have, like closest to one.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. That's true.
It does seem that like hybrid teams are like I'm not sure if they're doing very well in the tournament scene. Like it seems that more specialized teams are generally better for tournament play. Like Amazon is Amazon technically a hybrid team, I guess?
They're definitely not Dash. They're, I would say, on a hybrid.
Yeah.
Because they are quite bashy, but they also struggle when they play against stronger teams.
Yeah. But with that exception, it does seem that like specialized. Well, I mean, Dark Elves are one of those. Like
I mean, it's a bashy Dash team.
Yeah. So, and then you have the dashier Dash team in Wood Elves, and then Skaven at the very top of that ladder. So. But yeah. With I'm glad. Like, what is the you guys both seem very confident in the team. So now might be a good time to talk about like what are you aiming for in the tournament? Like I'm gonna my default assumption is that you're aiming to win the entire thing.
I mean, of
yes,
course.
that's the goal. Yeah. But ending up top 3, I think, is possible.
Podium is the target.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, if we accidentally win, no one will be sad about that.
I mean, yeah, no one in the team is sad, but like I will certainly be slightly sad because that means that then Finland didn't win. So like,
that's okay. We can live with that.
It is, but yeah. But yeah, so looking obviously going for the win, but top 3 is an acceptable outcome. Shall we say it like that?
I mean, I think more than acceptable.
Yeah, it's really good if we end up top 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's still something you can celebrate, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the best place Sweden ever got, I think, is 5th. From back when it was home in Sweden. But with the last EuroBowl, we took more points, but of course, there were a lot of more teams. So it was required.
Even more teams this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 6 more teams this year. So it's growing a lot, which is fun, but also a little bit concerning. Not that it grows, but only 6 rounds.
Yeah.
For 28 teams.
Yeah. That is starting to, I think, get into the territory where maybe 8 rounds would be a logical step. 5 more teams than Malta, actually, from CDASSAK in the chat.
But there has to be an even number. So I guess there was the replacement team in Malta as well. What did I say? With you could be just lucky with some draws when it's not certain that all the best will play against each other.
Yeah.
I think it's something that needs to be discussed at some point, if it should be added another play day. So you play 3 days.
Yeah, but the problem with that is obviously that it's gonna make it harder for people to make the time. Like it's gonna be more of a commitment.
Bigger, harder to get to, and more expensive.
Yeah. So there's definitely drawbacks to that as well. But yeah, if the amount of team like it does sound like that like one or two more rounds, like if the like could be like from just purely from the competitive standpoint.
I agree.
Good. Yeah. All
and
right.
the French team they brought this year is looking ridiculously good. So
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
they're gonna be clear favorites, I think. So
Okay.
good luck to Scotland, who got them the first round.
Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
several people like crossing their fingers, hoping for an upset there, I think.
But I'm not gonna lie. I would love to be able to play against France and beat them. Would be awesome. Also, getting a rematch against Germany would be good. No, wait. Did we win or did we lose that game last year? Oh, you weren't there.
I don't know. I didn't attend.
Damn it. I think we lost. I can't remember.
Yeah, I have lost according to CDA SSAK.
It's probably correct.
I trust him. Whoever.
Then I want a rematch against Germany as well.
Then you want a rematch. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, from a tactical standpoint, playing as many low-ranked team, would be preferable.
Yeah, for the final standing, absolutely. But yeah, it was the Swiss draw. Like having experienced it myself in like Warhammer 40,000, like it like the first two rounds are essentially the Wild West rounds of like who you might be coming up against, and then then after that it starts like then you start getting the usual suspects in a way, like you can start plotting out of like, okay, who are you actually likely to face like next, and then after that and all of that. So
the worst is when you start off poorly and lose the first round, and then let's first say when this round when England plays Spain and some of them win, and for the round 2 on the bottom tables you get to play, let's say, Spain.
Yeah.
That is not the dream scenario.
No, certainly not. But I would at least assume that most of the people who are going to this tournament are there with a fairly competitive mindset in the sense that like the thing that I personally enjoy about playing competitively is that even when I go up against strong opponents, even if I happen to lose, then I probably will learn something at least. I can see the skill in action and I can hone myself against like the best. So, like, that's always an opportunity to keep in mind. But obviously, from, like, a standings point of view, if you're one of the weaker teams, you probably don't want to get slapped with, like, oh, yeah, this team is, like, the best in the world by standings. That you don't want to get slapped with that first round. But yeah, Caillou, any teams that you would personally wish to face off against?
Yeah, like I played so many tournaments abroad now, so I met a few coaches, so it's really nice to face them again. So all nations is good actually, but I prefer facing tough opponents. So yeah, everything should be fun, I think. And what you said about sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, and in the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah,
that's really important to remember.
It certainly is. So sometimes if you just keep rolling ones and you can't do anything on the field, it definitely starts getting to you. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right, but
I assume you're gonna play against BB on table 3, round 3 or something.
Yeah, maybe. We have a tendency to face each other at World Cup.
Yeah. But with those thoughts, I think now is a good time for us to move over to the first round opponent for Team Sweden, Malta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So looking at the roster here, they have elected to not bring orcs or necro, and instead orcs orcs or Norse, and they have instead brought Amazon and necro.
Yeah.
But yeah, any so you said ooh, huh?
Yeah.
My my
You're in the wrong.
my browser suddenly jumped into squad blessings for some reason from the
Okay.
Malta coach roster. So I'll bring
Yeah,
it up again.
you're in the wrong tab, I think, aren't you? No,
Oh, am I?
no, this works.
Okay. Let's see, Malta. There we go, Malta. Apply. Right. So coach list: Balthasar playing vampires, Janinu playing necromantic, Metal Malta playing wood elves, Night Sword for lizardmen, Real Malteser for Skaven, Rone for Amazons, Ryan Gretsch for dark elves, and Zblue for shambling undead. Any of those, any of these coaches particularly? Like you mentioned, that the team captain is yeah.
Yeah.
So playing a necro, guard on the flesh golems, block wrestle on the werewolves, both race with guard, and ghoul runner with block. 3 rerolls. Yeah, this looks fairly what I'd anticipate from a necro roster.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
It's good. A lot of guard.
Mm,
It's really a bashy team.
mm,
But sometimes you can go with the flesh golem can have block too. It works fine.
yeah.
And he's sacrificed the Skuld for more money, so he can have 3 rerolls.
Yeah.
It's a really good roster.
Yeah. And I do think, like, I do definitely see that, like, I can't think of, like, a skill that I'd rather have in this roster than have the 3rd reroll. Like, I could maybe, like, okay, dirty player, like, on a zombie lineman, or sneaky kid on a ghoul runner if you want to go for the fouling route, but, like, the 3rd reroll just brings so much consistency, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then we have Balthazar's Vampires. This looks a little different from the vampire team that you guys are bringing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is vanilla blessing. They don't have actually something extra.
Yeah.
And they don't have an apple.
Yep, they don't have an apple either. Yep, that's true.
Yeah. I think we chose the stacking for the vampire roster.
Yeah.
I think it's really good with stacking.
Yeah.
When you have 2 skills on a vampire, they are kind of disgusting.
Yeah, you had a blitzer who had both block and mighty blow, or is it? And then you also had one of the throwers with block dodge as the 2 players with stacking.
Yeah.
So he's gone for a vampire runner and a thrower with pro. He's got 4 rerolls, and one of the throwers has leader on him as well. So 5 rerolls is that's a lot of rerolls even for a vampire team, I feel. He's got the 2nd blitzer as well for a strip ball.
But
interesting.
Problem is he has 0 vampires with block. He's
Yeah.
1 player with block in his entire team.
And that's a troll. Yeah.
So he's gonna rely a lot on his rerolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pro, it's good for like rerolling bloodlust and stuff. But if it's something that's causing a turnover, you still want to use the reroll instead.
Yeah.
Because it's a big chance that the pro will not kick in.
Yeah.
I honestly don't like this build. Saying that, I'm probably jinxing, or I think is it Meliscus who plays against this?
Our undead player.
Yeah. Okay. So undead versus vampires. I mean, I feel that like from my obviously again like my personal experience playing the undead, like I feel that like the gaze, hypnotic gaze, could be a really big problem for the undead because it's not like they're the most mobile, capable of like maneuvering team in the first place.
It's a problem for everybody.
It certainly is a problem for everybody, I guess, but yeah, this is like I feel that like the pro is probably like it's one of those like it feels like a luxury skill like rather than like in the sense of like either you go for like, well, I got a 2 dice on this and I didn't manage to get it down, I'll try the pro here, or it's all of my rerolls are already gone and like at least I have some fallback here with the pro. But I do have to agree that like no block on any of the vampires is feels a little off to me. Then we have Metal Malta with the Wood Elves, and he's gone for a 4 catcher roster.
Yeah.
4 catchers, a thrower with leader, sidestep on one of the catchers, 3 linemen all with dodge, tackle, strip ball, war dancers, treeman, 2 assistant coaches, 2 rerolls. So
No Apple.
No Apo. That's playing a dangerous game, I feel.
Yes, I agree.
But you have 9 players with dodge.
Yes.
So it's a very mobile team and a very quick team. I tried this for the Swedish Championship. Let's not talk about how it went.
I mean, yeah, like he's got that many players with dodge, and he still has access to 3 rerolls as well with the leader, and like, but yeah, the Apo, like, it's just one of those things that like if the war dancers accidentally get like removed, that's like I feel the lack of Apo is probably going to bite him quite badly. Like I'd probably substitute one of the rerolls for an Apo on this roster. Like he's got leader, so that he's still 2 rerolls, and with all of that dodge.
If you just downgrade 2 catchers to lineman, you can afford a.
Yeah, but like I don't think you want to downgrade 2 catchers to a lineman. Like in this roster, it seems to me that speed is the name of the game, and that means that you want all of the catchers you can get.
But you also need rerolls.
You can sacrifice a dodge on a line and get more money and remove 2 assistant coaches. Then you can have Apple.
Yeah. Also true. So yeah, will obviously gonna be very interesting to see how all of like, because it's nice to see that like even the races that show up, right? Like the builds are different, so it's still interesting to take a look at. And speaking of different builds, Night Sword, Lizardman. This looks like what you said was the sort of default, I guess, for
almost.
Not actually. Yeah, tackle on one Saurus.
Tackle on Saurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So he want to change the dodge players, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this coach might be the youngest EuroBowl participant.
Oh?
15 maybe?
Yeah, I think Arthur is 15. 14 or 15 this year.
Nice.
He came to Sweden to play in a tournament in March. And I was surprised. So he was so young and he was so good. Yeah, he's really good. And yeah,
up and coming Blood Bowl star then in the making.
I hope so.
Definitely, yeah. He has good genes in the family, I think. Real Malteser is his father, and Janenu is his
uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
That's so he's been brainwashed into Blood Bowl like from an early age.
From an early age, yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
100%.
Yeah. I am slightly kind of concerned because like he had like you mentioned like liking the guard in the Bash matchup, and he does not have any guard. Like I am slightly concerned about that choice as well.
I think
Yes.
this Lisa roster is still good, viable. So it's nothing wrong with it.
It's definitely like a lot of like rosters. I think come down to like coach's personal preference and what works for them. Like even one that like so it's not like people are like playing the wrong roster. It's just they have their own personal thing, like things that they think work best for them, and like it's just as viable as somebody else's different choice. A lot of them.
Don't get us wrong. There are definitely wrong rosters.
Yeah, there are certainly, but yeah,
not so many though.
Yeah,
in EUROBOWL.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Real Malteser, Gavin. He's bringing in a kick on a gutter runner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
In many ways, but
and then he's got
the consistency. He's ditching a wrestle.
Yeah, the Skaven gutter does not have a wrestle. Instead, a lineman has wrestle on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the strength 3 versus the strength 2, like which
but also
the gutter runner is much more likely to get into places to use the wrestle.
Yeah.
More move, better agility, and dodge. So yeah.
But yeah, Apothecary 2 rerolls with the leader reroll in there.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, seems pretty standard. Yeah. Rone. Amazon.
Yeah, Rone is actually the Maltesian captain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
Yes.
My bad.
Fair enough.
Playing Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the teams that we hadn't seen before. So, and again, don't know what the Amazons do in the like the new version of Amazon, because they are not in Blood Bowl 3, the online game yet. So we have Jaguar Warrior blockers, both with guard. Piranha Warrior blitzers, block one, wrestle the other. Thrower with leader, and then line woman with block, and then that is how many line women? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 line women with nothing on them. Apothecary and 3 rerolls. So
it's a good team.
It seems like, and especially like I assume that the Amazons are still fairly squishy, like on the armor.
The blockers have 1 extra armor and also 1 extra strength.
Okay. Wait, the Jaguar Warrior blockers are strength 4?
Yes.
Okay.
And they also have defensive.
Nice. And is the Piranha Warriors the ones that have like the special hit and run or whatever it's called, the skill?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good skill.
And they have 7 movement as well.
So. Okay. And they're still like strength 3, right? So they're not...
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But there are blitzers that don't have block for the start.
From start, yeah. And then, I assume the thrower is just ye old thrower.
It has on the ball, which is somewhat odd.
I mean, it's one of those...
It's a thrower that doesn't have pause. Or does it have pause?
Yes, they have pause and safe throw and on the ball.
Safe throw?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Starting with 3 is pretty good.
4 skills?
Yeah, with dodge, yeah. At 80.
I'm pretty sure.
At 80,
I'm very sure.
Okay.
No. I don't believe you, okay.
Say pause. It's called.
Pause. Yeah, pause, I think, yeah.
Dodge on the ball, pause, say pause.
Huh, okay.
Fair
I guess I'm wrong again.
Seems pretty reasonable, like for an 80 price point. That seems like with like 633, I assume, like the strength, agility, passing on a 2+ question mark.
3 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a reasonable lineup for for 80 base cost. So, no catchers on the lineup. Do Amazon still have catchers?
No,
No.
Okay, so
they're
they're gone. All right, and then like I assume with the 2 blockers and the 2 blitzers that like the 4 blitzers are like that's how they've been divided now from the
Yeah.
yeah. All right. But yeah, this this amount of dodge seems like it's gonna be could be a pretty big issue for like any team on the Swedish national roster. Like it's
Yeah. I'm gonna play against Rone in the first round, and it's so many dodge. Sometimes it's really troublesome to handle because yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
they have low armor.
yeah. So all you really need to do is roll POW and everything will be fine.
Yes. Almost.
Yeah.
But still so wide bench. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Certainly not like even if you manage to remove a couple, and I'm gonna assume that like Amazons are probably like they will probably go for like fouling in at least in the second half, if not in the first one. Like if they manage to stay intact enough to have the people to do it. So
I guess that's down to player preference, but
probably yeah. But
Amazon is one of the teams that are considered very good for fouling. So
yeah. I mean, like when your linewoman, like the lineman, is as good and still as cheap as it is for the Amazons, I feel a little slightly wasted if they don't foul at all. But
if you have a bench,
yeah.
why not? I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Rona don't foul.
Okay, fair enough. Then we have Ryan Gretsch, Dark Elves, the I guess vice captain of the team. If now since he isn't the captain.
Nah, no
Yeah,
clue.
no clue on that. But both Witch Elves would wrestle. The 3 dodges on the blitzers. Dark Elf runner with a leader. Only the 1 assassin. Apo 2 rerolls. 3 linemen with nothing.
Yeah, so it's very very similar to my.
Mm.
He has a runner with leader instead of a second assassin with dodge.
Yeah. I'm slightly biased against having both Witch Elves with wrestle. Like I like having a block Witch Elf as well as a wrestle Witch Elf.
There's definitely
Merits.
pros and cons to both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, both are really good in their way.
Yeah.
If you have wrestle on both, positioning with them is less important.
Yeah. And it does mean that like if the wrestle Witch Elf accidentally gets herself removed, then at least you still have the other wrestler hopefully around at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, very similar. Who is Ryan Gretsch going up against?
In for the pain.
In for the pain. All right. So orcs versus dark elves.
Yeah.
Fouling orcs versus 11 dark elves.
Yeah, that's if like considering that like there's a decent amount of dodge here. But yeah, the assassin's probably not going to have a great time if he ever ends up on the ground.
Or just in general against orcs.
Yeah. So good luck to Ryan Gretsch here. Then last but not least, we have Zeblu with the Shambling Undead. Block on the mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be super effective, of
Yeah.
course. We get more mighty blow
Yeah.
kick-ins.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my opponent.
Yeah. Tackle on the White Blitzer instead of a Mighty Blow, and a Sure Hands Ghoul as well.
Yeah, since I don't have strip ball, I'm quite fine with this.
Yeah. Works out better for you.
Yeah, I mean that means there will not be a blodger that carries the ball. So.
Yeah. But yeah, the tackle White Blitzer is probably going to. I feel that he's probably the most important piece against your roster specifically, Robo. Like it's.
Yes, probably, as well as the block mummy, of course.
Yeah.
It's so you had invested so much in that player.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it's a better mummy, and it is your mighty blow piece. So
yeah. And I mean, like into Dark Elf specifically, like having more guard, like just having 2 guard mummies, I don't think like the like having the mummy be with like just have another guard instead. Like in this particular matchup, I don't think the guard would get as much value as the block probably.
I think you might be wrong, because
Calling me out just like that, huh?
That much guard will, well, more guard is more problem for the opponent. I mean, he will be able to block anyway, so that's not the reason. But what opportunities will I get? The more guard there is, the less good situation can occur.
Fair enough.
But yeah, overall, I think it's a quite fair draw. I think we have about equal good matchups.
Would you say that any of the matchups like are gonna be the sort of like this is gonna decide the way it's gonna go, the ones that are the most close, or?
I mean, the mirror is it's quite the Wood Elf mirror.
Yeah.
That could go.
Yeah.
However, so I guess that's gonna be a key matchup, but we also don't really like our vampire against Skaven. That feels also not great. At least in my opinion.
Well, at least he has the block mighty blow like vampire blitzer. Like if he can do work against the Skaven, then
Yep.
But
and I guess the Maltese are not overly happy with 11-man Dark Elf against Falling Orcs.
Against Falling Orcs, yeah.
At least I wouldn't. I wouldn't like to play against that team, which I'm gonna do in a couple of hours.
Fair enough. All right. So, but what I'm getting from this is that you think it's going to be like overall the first round is going to be a reasonably close contest, but I assume you're going to go in with the confidence to win it.
Yeah,
I mean, we definitely hope to win, but it's Blood Bowl. You never know, and I mean, Maltese have a couple of really good players, so I think not only think, also the rankings support the theory that we have a slightly broader team.
Yeah.
So I think we are small favorites, and I hope we capitalize on it.
All right. Well, thank you both of you for coming on over and having this discussion. Was a very enlightening one, and obviously good luck to you in the tournament upcoming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Unless there's any final statements that you two wish to make, I think we're gonna wrap it up here for the stream. We went slightly over the 1 hour that I was trying to keep us to, but you know, when you're talking about Blood Bowl, that can happen. So
yeah. No, I at least I don't have anything additional. Do you, Q?
No, not really. I don't think so.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, both of you, and thank you everybody thank you everybody who's been watching. Hope you found this entertaining. Bork says thanks to all of you, was very interesting. Glad to hear it. And as I said on the EuroBowl Discord, if there are any other teams that wish to have this sort of an interviews, like get their thoughts out there, they can contact me, and we can see if we can schedule a similar sort of interview, I suppose. But with that, as I always say, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, whatever happens to be the time of day for you. Have a good one.